I'm grateful that we have this community. I'm grateful that we have each other. For everything. For everything. For everything. That we have each other. And that we lift each other up. We don't get caught in drama. We get caught in opportunity. We don't get caught in problems. We get caught in solution. We don't get caught in not being enough. We get caught up in being more than we've ever imagined. We don't get caught up in the low. We get caught up in the high. We don't get caught up in people talking about our world, because my world is fine and your world is fine. Yes, we are grateful. Grateful. We didn't come here to die. We came here to live. We came here to make noise. We came here to say you can be a girl, a boy, girl, black, white, yellow, green, red. You can love whatever and whomever you want to love. You can be heterosexual, trisexual, homosexual, no sexual, whatever you are. We love you here. You can be addicted. You can be recovered. You can be almost recovered. You can be used to be recovered. And we love you here. I am grateful. I am so grateful. Grateful. Somebody said, I thought you are away at a conference and miss a Sunday here? No. Miss a Sunday? I want to be not talking about the other life. I want to be talking about this life. And all is well. That's what good music does to your soul. So there was an evangelist that was going to speak at a church in town, and somebody told him as he was walking in the door, said, "You may not know it, but they worship snakes here." Oh, my word. Oh, yeah, they do. So he was up getting mic'd, and he was up in front of the group, and two guys walk in with boxes, and they open them up, and all these snakes start all over the platform. And so he looked at the minister there, and he said, "Is there a back door?" And the minister said, "No, there's not." And he looked back at him, and he said, "Well, where would you like one?" That's why I'm grateful. That's why I cry. Embedded in my heart will always be somebody almost dead at 13, 14 years old. That would be me. That had heard from a traditional thought that I was an original sinner and that I was not worthless and I wasn't going to amount to anything, and then I was never good enough to be in God's glory and God's world. And I heard that imprint week after week after week after week after week, you see. And you hear that and you hear that and you hear that, and after a while, some of it does sink in a bit. But when you find that back door, and you find that back door of a teaching like ours, that is why I do what I do. It's because I believe in a back door of understanding that teaches people that loving God is fun, that life is by nature celebratory, and even in the challenges, you're not weakened, your spirit is not weakened, because the core of your spirit is always intact. You are fine because you have an embedded teaching within you that says there is only one presence and one power in the universe, and that is the power for good. It is the power for God, and it works by working through us, through you, through me. That is the back door, you see. And it's coming to understand that in a deeper way. And every year, though it might be the same concepts, they get deeper because we shed layers of false information. We shed layers, our soul retrieves, because we do believe we're worthy. We do believe we're enough. We do believe that we are the outshining lights of unity and science of mind. We do know that we are the teaching for the answers in the world as we embrace it today. But we always have been. That's not a news flash. We're just more motivated to get it out there than we probably have been in a while, yes? And so it's in that space and in that energetic field. In Romans 3:8, it says, do not conform to the ways of the world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. And so we come together with this incredible energy field because often we have a renewal moment of our minds. We get out and we used to call it in the old days the science of remembering. The science of remembering. Oh, thank you for reminding me. That's right. I'm tapped into a power that created all things. Oh, the same energy that put people on the moon is that same energy I'm putting through me to help me walk this earth. The same energy that brought freedom for a lot of people who weren't free. The same energy that brought inventions of all different kinds. That is the same power that I'm tapping into. And the beauty is you don't have to go through anybody or get some kind of special membership card to deal with it directly. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for that energetic space and for the taking in that field because that power is available to you. I was at the Afterlife Conference, beautiful thing they were doing in Orlando all weekend, and I was just so... I was mindful when I walked in the door and I was walking in the various classrooms and where the lecture hall was, and it's like, this kind of reminds me of First Unity because these people are very happy here. I mean, you know, I know Disney is the happiest place on earth and First Unity is the happiest place on earth and gay and happy and all that, but I thought, wow, you know, they're really happy here. And I got it. Of course, they are. Because they don't believe life ever ends. They don't believe that there's no one that can threaten them about some promised land somewhere else because they have no fear of that. Because they know wherever they go after this life, they just take themselves where they're going. You're going to go, oh, good to see you again. Ah, we're still here. That's right. Here's the afterlife. How are you? You know? It's so good to see you yet again. I just took you with me again, you know. And so it's like that kind of energetic space of that place of being grateful because we choose to have a consequential life, to be renewed in our own minds, not because someone has forced us to, but because we want to. It's an entire different kind of model of a back door that we go into. And that's why Unity in the late 1800s was founded. Because the gathering religions of the time did not believe that you could self-heal. Did you know that? They did not believe that you could self-heal because you didn't go through the right committee or you didn't belong to the right team, right? And so Myrtle Hill, yes, Myrtle, I mean, whoever's over there, something's going down in that space. Someone come over here like, woo. So Myrtle Fillmore was brilliant. We don't refer to her enough because here she was with tuberculosis being told that by 40 she would no longer live. And that she would be dead. And Myrtle said, I'm not willing to accept that. And so she went and researched, like many of you did, in order to find a place like this. Because she could not accept a non-truth about her reality. It no longer worked for her. And she went and she heard a lecturer, E.B. Weeks was his name, and he said, you are a child of God and therefore you do not inherit disease. in the late 1800s. And we're impressed when scientists say you don't have to be your DNA now. But Myrtle felt that. She felt that in her consciousness. She felt that in her energy field. She felt that in her life, you see. And because of that, she was healed and thus started a movement that has touched millions and millions and millions of people all over the world. And Science of Mind people all over the world. And Emma Curtis Hopkins. And being a mystic everywhere. Because she was able to look at a condition. She didn't say the condition's non-existent. She said, I see the condition, but I'm walking on the other side of the condition. That's the difference. A lot of people misrepresent New Thought. We didn't say there's not a condition. That would be silly, because that's how we were formed. We're just saying permanently the condition does not have to belong to you. It can come to you, it can go through you, and it can move along. Can move along. It's the hanging on to conditions and making them permanently yours when they want to move. When they want to move. You know, don't think you're doing a service by holding on to your problems. They want to be as free from you as you do them. You know, it's like a bad hair day. Move on. You know what I mean? They want to be free from you as much as you do them. And the reason that we struggle is that we want to hold on because we're into comfortable, or we already know what we have. But I guarantee you, and I've said it repeatedly, and I say it to myself, if we all threw our perceived issues on a sheet of paper, we all threw them on the floor, every one of us, you'd almost knock your row down to get yours back. Am I right? Because it chose you. It selected you. Of the 7 billion people on the planet, it picked you to grow with you, to grow through you, and to grow from you, and transcend into a new idea and into a new form. Can you believe that? Can you be in that, you see? There's a statement that says that when children are born, they are a question mark. And by the time they go through middle school, they're already a period. I can't do this because. I can't do this because. My parents said I won't be able to do this because. I keep hoping I'm going to meet somebody to love, but I know it probably won't happen to me because, period. You with me? Yes. Yeah. There's a whole new model of setting a space called New Thought that allows children to ask questions, that invites them to talk about the questions, that energizes them to question us and what we believe. It's my best day when somebody questions what I believe. It ought to be all of ours because it's a check-in. It's a check-in, yes? Yes. And so it's in that connection. There's a story of a great stonecutter. He lives in this village, and he decides that he's not necessarily content with his life. And so he looks and he sees this wealthy man going down the road, and he seems to just have everything. And he went, I want to be that. He looks very powerful. I want that power. And so, thus, bam, bam, changing his mind, he was a wealthy man. And then, as time went on, there was a guy on a chariot that was coming through and people were bowing down to him. He was some kind of important official. And he went, oh, he looks really powerful. I want to be like him. So then the stonecutter, then wealthy guy, then now official of the city, that's what he became. And then he's looking around, and one day he's outside and he sees the sun and he goes, wow, that's so powerful. Oh, I want to be powerful like the sun. There he was. He became the sun. So the stonecutter, then wealthy guy, then city official, then the sun, he looks around and he goes, but the wind seems to be more powerful because it's gotten in the way of the sun. I want to be that. There he goes. But he notices as he has all the power that the wind has, that there is this huge rock that does not move. And he said, wow, that's powerful. I want to be that. And there he was. What is more powerful than this huge boulder and this huge stone? He asked himself, and he saw an image of a stone cutter. I guarantee you, the power that is within you brings into realization the image, just like for me in the early days of my life, when I kept looking for the back door going, this doesn't feel right. This isn't true. This isn't right. This kind of teaching doesn't resonate with my spirit. But there was an image that I had of myself. I never lost it. You never lose it. The image of who you desire, of what you feel, no matter what you hear, no matter what commercials are on Hulu or YouTube or whatever, there's still within you this very clear, solid image of the truth about yourself. And all that is necessary in a moment is the renewal of your mind. As Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith would say, consciousness changes form. You want the form to be different? Change your consciousness. Bring energy to this life force and be transformed in that space. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Very grateful. Very grateful.